26 minutes past the hour. It's May 8th. Good morning. Welcome to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love to feature indie artists in the mornings. And this morning, we're heading to New York City to chat with singer-songwriter Monique Sherrell Brown. Monique, she's an award-winning multi-genre singer. She just released her latest single called Gone, which is a tribute to her grandma. We're excited to have Monique on the show. First of all, Monique, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first, I used to be in TV. When I was researching you, tell us about your day job, Monique. This is pretty cool.
Well, I have 3 day jobs. I'm a freelancer. Currently, I'm hiding out in the edit bay at ABC headquarters, located at 47 West, New York City, West 66th Street. I work as a operations producer here. Basically, that's transmission, bringing in the remotes, the live shots. So you would see, I don't know, the guys out, wherever you see them, they have to somehow get in house, and that's where my department comes in. We have to make sure that happens so the folks at home could feel the live on the street presence.
Oh, yes. You said freelance, so how does that work? Because you work for all kinds, like different networks? What?
I do. I currently work for ABC, CBS, and MSNBC.
Wow. All over the place.
TV by day, music by night. And yeah. Believe it or not, I always wanted it to be this way. I actually went to school for film, and I realized I didn't like film. I worked in a TV department, and I said, I like TV, and I've always loved music. I was like, well, maybe I could just work in TV during the day to support my music at night, and kind of worked out.
Exactly. We all have a day job here and there. Well, and that kind of how you started with singing, because what, a colleague introduced you to a cabaret scene, or how did that work?
Yes. I have to give much thanks to veteran reporter McGee Hickey. She actually had gotten me to go to a cabaret, and then she encouraged me, or wrote me in, however you want to look at it, into taking a cabaret class. From there, I started doing some cabaret shows, and then, I don't know, it's like, maybe I want something a little more than just playing with a piano. And then I tried, like, the School of Rock thing, and I really liked it. And I've always been a poet, so from there, I just started connecting with people and started, producing music. I'm like, my main guy, I have to first and foremost give a shout out to the guy who's pretty much on most of my records, /engineer, Hugh Poole, who is phenomenal. He's actually featured on the guitar for my single Gone. I literally have had songs where I just hum to him and he makes the reality. So, Actually, my song, When I Say, I was sitting in a dentist's office, and I just started writing lyrics. And all of a sudden, this melody came to me, and I went to Hugh, and the song, When I Say, came out of it, and which actually got nominated for a Josie Award last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll chat about the Josies. And Hugh, he was on, go back to Your Used to Be, which is kind of a blues song.
Yes. He is amazing. I can't say enough great things about him. We took this song. I mean, there were 2 versions. They thought I was crazy, but he always goes with my crazy ideas, and somehow it usually works out. That is actually a remake of a Jessie Mae Hempel tune. I don't know if you've ever heard the original, which is way different. There's no bass. It's just the guitar playing bass notes. There's like nothing. I went from like a very simple song, and I just made it overly dramatic. And I just went in. I was like, I want this song to be something to go into a biker bar in the middle of some strange remote town, and somebody turns on a jukebox, and I want that kind of vibe. And we did it. I feel like we did it.
Yeah, you definitely did on that
song. It was
song.
received very well.
Yeah, it's a great song. Well, I mean, you've been all over the place, Monique. I mean, are you still trying to find your sound? Do you like doing the different genres?
I like doing different genres. I think mostly I'm more about the blues things. I don't like really being tied into anything. I think naturally I just lean more towards blues. So even in my non-blues songs, it's still kind of bluesy.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to find something new. I feel like I started very late with this, but it's okay. You know, if you find something you love, it's ready when it's ready, and it's ever evolving, I feel. So, I mean, I have another single that'll be coming out with actually Q play guitar on that is a completely different genre. I mean, it has a mixture of things, but it leans more towards R&B. And I think it's a really pretty song. It's a ballad, which I don't do very often.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Gone, her latest single. Go check her out, MoniqueSherrellBrown.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Her latest single, Gone, is out now. You can go to YouTube. She's got an awesome video. The Wishing You the Best video is pretty sweet. Is that a bar in New York?
It is. It's a dive bar in New York. It's in the East Village. That one was actually really loads of fun to do because the actor in there, his name is Thomas Canesdra, or I probably pronounced it wrong. I'm sorry, Thomas, if you're listening. I put an ad out on the internet on Craigslist. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. And I had gotten all strange kinds of responses. And then his assistant reached out to me. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll try it out. And he's French with a really thick accent. It's like, you don't know what somebody sounds like. It's not like he's talking in the video, but he did such a great job. I was like, I don't know if I should say it or not, but I was making fun of somebody I knew. That's what the song was about. Somebody pissed me off. Never piss off a lyricist.
No, you'll have a song written about you.
I told him I wanted a good-looking guy who, was once something that now is just living in his own head because he's having delusions of grandeur, Yeah. And I think he captured that. It was actually quite funny. Unfortunately, we didn't have as much footage as we wanted, so we had to go with the old school MTV style, the quick cuts and stuff. But I mean, I thought it brought nice personality to it.
Yeah, no, it's a great video. I was on your personal Facebook page, and you have a statue that you got from Greece, and you said it's your first trip to Greece. Do you love to travel? Do you go to Greece a lot? What's with Greece?
I've been to Greece twice. The first time I went to Santorini, and I spent time in Athens. If you've never been to Greece, please go to Santorini, the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. And it was just truly, truly, truly amazing there. I mean, the blue water, the beautiful trip. To answer your question, I love to travel. I haven't really had the funds to go around like I like to do, but I always enjoy seeing different cultures, I mean, we get stuck in our one way, of life. And I live in New York. I'm used to having corner stores and things like that and blah, 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 blah. And you go somewhere else, it's quite different, You're seeing, if I'm going to Ireland, I mean, one of my favorite places to go is Dublin for the wines. It's just nice seeing the green there. It's beautiful. And it's you go to a bar and all these strangers come up to you. You want to go for a pint? I remember one times I was in Ireland and I was walking down the street and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "What's the crack?" I'm like, "Excuse me." I had no idea. I didn't understand the term. It's this is the equivalent of what's going on, what's happening,
Yeah. Well, you're like, well, what? Yeah, exactly. Well, and speaking of different worlds, you have a post on there where you lived in 3 different apartments in the same building complex for the last 30 years?
Yes. Wow, you really did do your homework.
Yeah, well, we're out here in Wyoming. I mean, there's a few apartment complexes, but, I mean, you're in a whole different world, Monique.
Well, yes. It was quite interesting. My mom, who's also passed away, when we moved, and I was younger, we moved into Rochdale. It was me, my mom, my grandmom, and we moved into Building 9 in Rochdale Village.
Yeah.
And I moved out in my first apartment, which I moved into Building 8. I was living alone, and then my grandmom came to stay with me. So she was staying with me, and then she recently passed away, and it was really, really painful for me to come home to that apartment. So I wound up moving to another apartment. So the apartment with me and my grandmother was Building 8. I wound up asking them, they had another apartment available, and they had Building 7 available. So it's like, I don't know, like, where the journey for me will end, but it's just interesting that I was in Building 9, then 8, and 7, and then it was like 3 of us in Building 9, 2 of us in Building 8, and me in Building 7.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then it's like, it's weird because it's like kind of like if you look at the way the buildings are positioned, it's kind of like a triangle. I was like, I don't know. I'm not really that into like these things like this, but I'm like, does that mean something that is supposed to happen like this? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're living it, so yeah, that's where you are. Gone. You mentioned your grandma. She just passed away. What, in January?
Yes. She was my living angel. Oh my God, we lived together. We drove each other nuts, but she was truly, truly God sent. She actually passed away when I was in the apartment, and she knew she was going, but she cleaned everything up before she went.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my God, that is so selfless.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. And so, which leads into the single Gone. It was just like, I like, it's therapy for me as well, you know, for losing my best friend. But it was like I had to do something for her. And I was nominated for a Josie Award last year. And my grandmother loved country music. Even though I don't consider myself a country singer, somehow hanging out with you, the sound kind of comes out like that sometimes. And so she, you know, when I got nominated, I wound up going down there, you know, had a grand old time, you know, the Grand Ole Opry. It was like so amazing going there, taking photos like in front of the guitars and like hanging out at all these wonderful spots. And anyway, so she was like so happy that I had gotten down to Nashville. And when she passed away, I was like, you know, I've been working on my music project for a little while, and I kind of put it on hold, but now I'm doing it again. And she passed away, and I was like, well, the Josies are open. You know, I'm like, at first I was like, well, you know, I'll never get a song ready in time. And it was like, I didn't want to really do like one of my other songs in progress. I was like, I had to do something for Grandma. And I didn't want to linger over it a whole year because I couldn't make the Josies deadline. So I thank everybody for like encouraging me to finish the song and being able, I literally got it in the day, the last day for entries. And God bless, I actually got nominated.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, how did you get this song in? Because, I mean, did you just record the lyrics like a couple weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the song went through quite a few changes. I said, like, I actually, well, I don't know if you saw my Facebook page, like, I was, like, posting, you know, morning stuff about my grandmom, and Hugh Poole had made a comment, and I was like, we have to make a record together about my grandmom. And 5 days later, we went into the studio. That guitar concept came out. I brought in my guys. They did their thing. I was like, the song sounds sweet, but it needs something extra. I brought in somebody else, and I said, Hugh, Grandma was my living angel. I have to have harp in here.
Yeah.
And you don't hear that every day. And he was like, this could be a really bad idea, or it could be something genius. But as usual, he goes with my crazy idea. So we brought a harp player in, and I think we made it happen.
Yeah, she did. Go check it out. Monique Sherrell Brown. It's SHERRELL.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Gone is out now. You can go to YouTube and also watch it on there. How tough was it? I mean, did it flow out of you, the song? I mean, sometimes it's hard to write about a loved one.
It was very, very difficult. The words were changing. I mean, honestly, full transparency here, some nights I didn't want to go home because I would rush home to see my grandmother. I have my day job, have my fun, and I would always go home to Grandma. And, you know, I didn't want to go home, so I spent several nights in expensive New York City hotels. And I actually I was like up in the middle of the night. and these lyrics just poured out of me like as I'm crying.
Wow.
I mean, gone, didn't know you were leaving. Gone, saw you weren't breathing. I found my grandmother. That is very literal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could use it in different ways. And, she was aging. I feel like she held on for me, you know? I mean, you get older sometimes, things break down. That's a part of life, know? And so every word in there is true. And I changed the lyrics, oh, my God, so many times. I went to the studio thinking the lyrics were going to be one thing, and then other things just poured out of me.
Wow. Yeah. It came out great, and now you've been nominated for another Josie. Are we going to go this year? Were we planned it out yet?
We are definitely going to go. Absolutely. Grandma would have wanted it that way, and I had such a blast last time. I can't see myself doing anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Grandma, it's meant to be. You have to go. And I think you're going to win this time. So you got the other single. Are we going to wait a while? I mean, this one just came out.
We'll see. I mean, there's another single that's in mixing and mastering called "I'll Stay," which is about. I'm just going to say it's about a chick that needs to get laid. She likes a guy, and she's saying everything, and she's putting it out there as like no matter what he does, she's going to stay. So it's in mixing and mastering now. It should be finished in the next couple of weeks. I probably will release it kind of simultaneously as this one. This one's for Grandma, but I just don't want to keep something sad out there. So I kind of,
Yeah. Is that a country song or a blues song?
This one is actually kind of like R&B. Somebody listened to the music and they felt like it was kind of Hendrixy. So I'm not exactly sure. It definitely has the blues in there, but I feel like it's more R&B based. But it's just so hard for me just being in it to classify what it is.
Yeah, interesting. I could ask you if it's autobiographical or.
The song does have a history. I'll just leave it at that.
Since you told us what it's about, we'll leave it at that. Well, go and follow her. She's on Facebook, Instagram. She's everywhere. Monique Sherrell Brown. Here is her latest single, Gone. Monique, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you so much for your support. And God bless.
Yeah, God bless you. Here it is. It's Gone. It's KIX 96.5.